What if the real secret to living past 100 isn't in a pill, but on your plate? 3 legendary heart surgeons quietly followed daily habits that defied age, disease, and even death itself. Today, we reveal the strange routines and forgotten foods they swore by, because how they lived might just change how you eat, starting tomorrow. Number 1. The morning ritual that doubled his life. Dr. Beria wasn't just a heart surgeon. He was a machine. While most of us hit snooze for the 3rd time, Beria was already hours into what he called his first life of the day. His motto, live 2 days in one. And he meant it. Every morning, Beria would wake up between 6 o'clock and 7 a.m. Not because he had to, but because he believed early rising stretched time itself. He wasn't chasing hours, he was mastering them. But here's the catch. Beria didn't promote waking up early just to be productive. He paired it with strict bedtime discipline. If you weren't asleep by 11 p.m., he believed your body was already working against you. No recovery, no repair, just burnout disguised as a normal day. According to him, you couldn't borrow energy from tomorrow without paying for it later, in fatigue, inflammation, and yes, heart disease. He called this simple habit the foundation of everything else: surgery, success, stamina. In his view, you didn't need energy drinks or morning hacks. You just needed to stop treating your body like a machine that never powers off. But the real twist? Waking up early wasn't even the most important thing Beria did after opening his eyes. Because what he drank immediately after getting out of bed was what really set him apart. And no, it wasn't coffee. Number 2, the drink that woke up his heart, not coffee. Most people wake up and reach straight for their morning fix: coffee, energy drinks, or some overpriced blend promising clean fuel. But Dr. Beria saw that habit as a silent threat. In fact, he warned that drinking coffee on an empty stomach wasn't just a bad idea. It could be a slow ticket to heart disease. According to Beria, caffeine without food sends your stress hormones into overdrive, spiking your heart rate and blood pressure before your system is even awake. Over time, that morning rush turns into chronic damage. So what did he do instead? A glass of warm water. Yes, just water. Beria kept it by his bed. No lemon, no herbs, no trends. And he drank it the moment he opened his eyes. Why? Because this simple act jumpstarts circulation, awakens digestion, and gently activates the body's internal systems, without stress, without shock. He believed this one habit retrained the body to wake up naturally, not through artificial stimulation. It was about flow, not force. But here's where it gets interesting. While Beria warned against coffee, he was even more brutal toward another common breakfast mistake. Something you've probably eaten this week. A food so common, we don't even question it. But according to him, it's wrecking your blood vessels every time you take a bite. Number 3, the breakfast mistake that slowly wrecks your heart. We've all heard it. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But according to Dr. Beria, most people are doing it dangerously wrong. The typical quick fix, toast, cereal, a cup of coffee, maybe a muffin on the go, is what he called a heart attack on a plate. His words, not mine. Why? Because these light, sugary breakfasts spike your blood sugar fast, only to crash it a few hours later. That roller coaster puts your heart under unnecessary stress daily. And over time, those little dips and spikes start to chip away at your cardiovascular health like water wearing down stone. Even coffee, if consumed before eating anything solid, was considered a major red flag in Beria's book. It irritates the stomach lining, throws off cortisol levels, and creates what he described as the illusion of energy at the expense of the heart. His solution? Eat something real, something grounding. He promoted a hearty breakfast rich in complex carbs, healthy fats, and protein. Think oats, fresh fruit, real butter, and eggs, but not the overprocessed kind most people grab in a hurry. This, he said, was the true power breakfast, not because it filled you, but because it protected you. But if Beria's breakfast rules felt intense, another heart surgeon took things further. And his fix wasn't just about food. It was about removing it completely. Number 4, the surgeon who gave up meat and never looked back. Dr. Ellsworth Wareham wasn't your average heart surgeon. He was a plant-powered, scalpel-wielding anomaly who performed open-heart surgery well into his 90s and credited his longevity to a radical decision he made at age 50. He quit meat cold turkey. No red meat, no chicken, not even fish. Why? Because he had seen firsthand what animal products did to arteries. Wareham described it plainly. The more meat his patients ate, the more clogged and calcified their vessels became. Some lost toes. Others lost limbs. Many lost their lives. And he refused to be next. So he flipped the script. Whole grains, beans, fruits, vegetables, nuts, water. That was his medicine. He ate only 2 meals a day. Breakfast was a bowl of whole grain cereal soaked in soy milk, stacked with fruit and nuts. Dinner? Beans, raw veggies, and another handful of nuts, almonds, walnuts, even salted peanuts. He completely cut white sugar, getting his sweetness from fruit instead. And he had one rule. If he saw a drinking fountain, he drank. Hydration was non-negotiable. At 99, he still drove himself around. Still gardened. Still joked that he felt 20. But what really made Wareham's story shocking wasn't just what he ate. It was how his diet completely rewired his aging process. And yet, another surgeon didn't just rely on diet. He had a different weapon, movement. Number 5, the surgeon who outran aging with one simple rule. Dr. Michael DeBakey wasn't just a pioneer in heart surgery. He was a force of nature. The man who helped invent bypass surgery lived to 99, performed thousands of operations, and maintained a pace that would exhaust most people half his age. His secret? Never stop moving. Literally. While most doctors talk about walking as good exercise, DeBakey treated it like a prescription. Every morning at 4 a.m., he began his day with a simple workout. Pull-ups, squats, bends, nothing flashy but always consistent. Then he walked to work. Rain, shine, didn't matter. It was non-negotiable. He believed a 30-minute walk with varied pace was enough to keep blood vessels elastic and the heart strong without overexertion. No gym, no memberships, just motion. But here's where DeBakey took things further. He didn't just focus on exercise, he waged war against stress. He didn't drink alcohol. He didn't smoke. And he believed stress, not cholesterol, was the heart's real assassin. His remedy? Laughter, nature, swimming theater. Anything that kept him from becoming another statistic. His golden rule was chillingly simple. An active person who suddenly stops working in old age is inviting a heart attack. But what DeBakey did at night, that's what really caught people off guard. It wasn't what he ate. It was when. Number 6, the dinner trick that changed everything. For Dr. Michael DeBakey, dinner wasn't just a meal, it was a strategy. While most people finished their day with a heavy, late-night feast, he flipped the routine entirely. DeBakey would split his dinner in half, one portion in the evening and the other saved for the next morning. Why? Because it kept his blood sugar stable, prevented nighttime sluggishness, and gave his body time to rest instead of digest. It was his own version of intermittent fasting, decades before it became trendy. No late-night snacks, no grazing, no eating out of boredom. Just structure. And that structure, he believed, gave his heart a head start every single morning. DeBakey's dinner wasn't elaborate. Baked fish, bean soup, always paired with vegetables. No fried food, no butter, no fatty meats. He believed that every bite either fueled your heart or buried it. And while others were dining late and waking up tired, he was already in motion, energized by a meal from the night before. But perhaps the most shocking thing about DeBakey's routine wasn't just how he ate or moved, but what he never did. Unlike many of his peers, he stayed busy, deliberately. Because to him, the moment you stop working is the moment the heart stops caring. Still, there's one more shared secret all 3 surgeons quietly swore by, and it's not what you'd expect from medical legends. Number 7, the forbidden treat they all swore by. It sounds like a contradiction. 3 of the world's most disciplined, long-living heart surgeons indulging in chocolate, but not the kind you're thinking of. Dr. Leo Beria, Dr. Ellsworth Wareham, and Dr. Michael DeBakey all agreed on one rare exception to their strict diets. Dark chocolate, but only the kind that was 90% cocoa or higher. No sugar-loaded candy bars. No milk chocolate. Just bitter, nearly unsweetened cocoa, rich in antioxidants and powerful enough to support blood flow, reduce inflammation, and lower the risk of hypertension. To them, it wasn't a dessert, it was a tool. A weapon against aging. A nutrient-dense exception in a world full of ultra-processed garbage. And when their sweet tooth kicked in, they didn't reach for cookies or cakes. Wareham chose dried fruits. Beria kept raw honey on hand, not just for the taste, but for its antibacterial and immune-boosting properties. Even DeBakey, who had no taste for excess, admitted that the occasional indulgence done right was better than constant restraint followed by collapse. What united all three was the belief that discipline didn't mean deprivation, it meant intention. Every bite was a choice, every craving a chance to either fuel the body or feed disease. But their greatest lesson? It wasn't about food at all. Because in the end, the real secret to a strong heart was something money can't buy. These men didn't just treat hearts, they protected their own. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just discipline, movement, and purpose. So the next time you reach for junk, ask yourself, would a 99-year-old heart surgeon approve? Maybe it's time to live like your heart depends on it. Because it does.